This show is pre-recorded and furnished by Mainline Media Incorporated. The Bruce Cook Conversation is brought to you by Visit Newport Beach. This is Lou Stowers introducing the Bruce Cook Conversation with host Bruce Cook, diving deep with amazing guests, trending now, and making a difference. Here's Bruce.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Bruce Cook, and I am so pleased and honored to have you listening to my show. I'm calling this broadcast the Carpe Diem Hour, and I tell you why, because you know the translation. It simply means seize the day, because that's what we're talking about tonight on radio. We're talking about seize the day because we are all overstressed, we are overloaded, we are frustrated, we got a lot to do, a lot on our minds, and my guests tonight are going to alleviate that for me and for you, and we're going to learn a little bit too. I've got two young women writers who have joined together in a career move. Both of them started at point A doing different things in quote-unquote regular world society jobs, and over a period of time, they've transitioned their lives through study, through research, through interaction in the world with lots of different people to come up with a philosophy meant to make us all better. And in so doing, they have just written and published a book, Whatever the Hell You Want. So you got an idea what's coming, ladies and gentlemen. The book is about finding your best self, changing the mold, getting rid of the baggage, breaking through. I don't know how you do all that, and we're going to find out. Let me introduce to you my two writer guests tonight, Keri Ohlrich and Kelly Guenther, both on separate lines. Our board op producer, Tony, has put them on. Let me say hello to Keri first. Keri, are you there?
I am here. Wonderful to be here. Thank you, Bruce.
No, it's wonderful to have you on because I'm expecting you to change my life tonight. I really need it.
I love that there's absolutely no pressure to deliver phenomenal results in 30 minutes.
That's what radio's for. That's my role in life. That's my duty. Where's Kelly? Kelly, are you there?
I am here. Good evening, Bruce. Thank you for that amazing introduction.
You both have young baby voices. Are you like 12 years old?
Oh, my God. I just had a birthday, and it certainly wasn't 12.
Well,
so.
You sure sound young. I don't know. Can I trust the fact that you're going to change my life in the next 12 minutes? I don't know. You sound awfully young. Keri, tell me, does experience matter? How can you say what the hell do you want to get if you really haven't experienced much in your life? Because a lot of young people really want to know, too, because they're frustrated.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because the experience question is a good one, Bruce. And I think that as getting older, as Kelly and I are, and we are 10 years apart, so she is the young one. I am the old one, if you want to keep score.
I love keeping score.
I think that what has helped, at least me as I get older, is realizing some of those expectations that we put on ourselves, especially when we're younger. We need to go to college, to this college. We need to do this. I should do this. I am doing this because my parents tell me to. That is very overwhelming, and it is a lot of weight that we place on ourselves. So I do feel like the older we get, the more experience, you kind of start to realize those expectations are a little bit of BS. They're not helping you.
I was at an event last night, and a young person who I've seen grow up came over. It was actually a wedding. Came over to me, and he said, you know, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a musician. I was like young, maybe 7 or 8 years old, and I was playing my guitar in my room, and my grandfather came over to me and said, if you keep doing that, your life's going to be nothing but trouble. Guess what? Today, he's a very successful musician, but that stuck with him for 30 more years of his life, worrying that he was going to not make it if he followed that path. Talk to me about that kind of negativity.
Yeah, and I think that I have one of my favorite stories, so let me tell you this story first. That I was in, I don't know, he was probably early 30s, so definitely with a lot more time ahead of him than behind him. And he came in and we were doing a career discussion. I said, what do you want to be? What did you want to be? He said, I wanted to have a PhD in philosophy. And in fact, I actually got into the University of Chicago PhD philosophy program, which is so difficult. And he got in. I said, well, why didn't you go? He said, because my dad said, I won't make money, so I better go be a consultant.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. I said, are you happy? And he said, no. but, I'm 30. What am I going to do? I now have a kid and a wife, and what am I going to do? And I said, oh, my goodness. And so I think so many of the parents and the grandparents and family members think that they're helping you.
In all fairness, though, parents worry. You get older.
100%.
You get older, and life takes a few blows, and you don't want your kids to fail. Keri and Kelly, what do you tell a parent who comes to you? You're both consultants and advisors. If you had a client, maybe it was a Fortune 500 client, which I know you deal with a lot of business people, and what if the president of company X says to you, I got a kid in college who wants to be a dancer. How do you counsel the parent?
I think I'll take, because I'm a parent, so I'll take this one, and then Kelly, please add non-parent ideas too. Even as a parent, I would say you have to kind of dig into what that plan would look like. If they really have a passion for something, then maybe you wouldn't be quite a dancer. Maybe you would work within dance, right? My son loves baseball. I don't know if he's going to be a major league player, but there's lots of jobs in baseball that he could do. If you don't figure out how to match something that they really like, then I will say Kelly and I have interviewed so many people 20 years later who are so exhausted, they get ill, they drop out of the workforce and do something else and go take a walk on the El Camino in Spain, that it does come home to roost. It might not be in 2 years, but it will be in 20. But Kelly, that's my parents' bias. What would you say something different to that person in corporate?
Yes to everything you said, and I would say to avoid placing judgment immediately without hearing out what your child is actually looking for. Why do they have this passion? Is this a fleeting thing? Is it just a flavor of the day type situation, or is this something that they've always loved to do, and you need to kind of let your guard down and allow the person to take a look at what a potential career in that particular field of dance looks like. So it's when we make those harsh judgments and we make them so rash that people start to really question their own belief system in themselves. And when you start to question your confidence level, you start to lose sight of the passion that you have in the first place.
A lot of your book, ladies, is talking about confidence. How does one get that confidence? Not everybody is born with it. Not everybody develops it. How do you advise your clients to gain the confidence they need to make the choices they need to make? Keri, do you want to start?
Yeah, I think it's a lifelong thing for many of us. And I know for me it is. And so the way you do it is by little things. So if I'm coaching someone or I'm coaching myself, you take that first step and to whatever you're trying to do, and you get it done. And you also...
What would be a first step? Give me an example.
Well, so for example, sometimes the first step is even visualizing it. And so what would it look like? And then, so if I want to be a better public speaker, let's say, maybe I do a bit of research on what that looks like. So what's the end goal? And then I did some research on, how did they prepare? How did they study for it? And maybe I break it down into more manageable steps. And then I take a first step of even saying, I am a good public speaker. Even getting into that mindset of telling yourself you are, even though sometimes you don't believe it, but you keep saying it to yourself. And then you're like, I'm going to try to today ask the first question in the meeting so I can get out there and be a part of the conversation first, and I can set the tone. That will help me prepare for doing more public speaking. So it really is these little things every day. We've interviewed Olympic swimmers. They don't just get in the pool and become Olympians the next day. Every day they're doing something, and every day they'll tell you they fail. They don't make a time trial, or they lose the meet. And so you have to get back up as well. But I would say little tiny things will help you build that confidence.
We're going to have to take a break in a second, but I want to, before I hear from Kelly on that subject, I want to propose something to you both to come back with after the break, and that is in finding your confidence and developing your skill, how do you separate reality from, what's the word? The word is dreams. You have dream goals. How do you find the way to know the difference so you don't get sidetracked into some fantasy land? I think a lot of people fear that. With that, we're going to take our first break. I'm Bruce Cook, everybody listening tonight on radio. And with me, I've got two incredible authors. I have Kelly and Keri, and we're talking about their book, Whatever the Hell You Want. And we're going to get that book, and we're going to learn it. Stay with me. We'll be right back. We're back, everybody. I'm Bruce Cook, and this is the conversation tonight on air. And my guest tonight, again, if you're just tuning in, I hope you're not, because you missed a really good first segment, Keri Ohlrich Kelly Guenther, two ladies that are authors together with a book, Whatever the Hell You Want. I left in the last segment, coming back to Kelly Guenther, asking to dive into and explain the difference between breaking the mold and following your hopes and following it the wrong way into fantasy land. Can you go into that a bit, Kelly?
Sure. I think that part of understanding yourself and what you're looking for is really is developing self-awareness. What are the areas in which you want to make a change in your life? And is it something that's within you? Are you capable of doing it? Or is it such a far-fetched thing that it would be like almost a pipe dream? And having that real conversation and real honest conversation with yourself first, but then also having a group of people, like a personal board of directors, trusted advisors, people that you know will tell you an unbiased truth about you and your situation. When you employ and you have a group of people who care about you, want what's best for you, you trust them with these deepest, darkest feelings that you have about yourself, it allows for you to understand and see if this is a course you want to go ahead and take going forward.
Keri, jump in on that. What do you say to add to it?
Oh, yeah. I was totally thinking when you asked the question about that board of directors is so important, of having your group of people who can give you that feedback. And I think, too, Kelly and I do a lot in change management. And there's a certain point of change management where you're aware that you want to change, you desire the change, you have the knowledge of the change, but do you actually have the ability? So if you take me, I am 5'3", and there is no way I'm going to compete with a WNBA. There's no way.
But what about competing with Dolly Parton?
Yeah, but, well, yeah, I get height-wise, yeah. Talent-wise, absolutely not.
Okay, well, there's a good example. A little weird, but a good example.
A little strange, but I could know everything about basketball. I could desire basketball. I could tell you all the rules, but I truly don't have the ability. So at some point, like Kelly said, you have to have that self-awareness in the team around you to say, that's really lovely, Keri, that you think you want to be in the WNBA, but there's no way you're going to do it. At your age and height, absolutely not.
Explain how this relates to something in your book called the Break the Change model. What is that?
Kelly, do you want to...
Kelly, take it away.
Sure, absolutely. It's a fabulous model for saying goodbye to expectations that are standing between you and what you want your future self to look like. So we make it very simple. First is be brave enough, be bold enough to think about what that change is that you want to make and have it be grounded in reality to our last point. Then it's realizing the expectations that stand in your way. What are the barriers to entry? And what do you need to do to be able to get beyond those? Then explore the possibilities that are available to you. And this is where we really like this one, because be as silly as you want. Think about every possibility out there, some that may be totally outrageous and others that might actually have a stronger chance of being supported. But have fun brainstorming and thinking through what those possibilities could be. Then it's about taking action. What is maybe the first or second step you want to take to be able to hit the ground running and impart on that dream? And then the K stands for keep it going. It's all about sustainability and believing in yourself enough to have this temerity to go through and live your best life.
It sounds pretty simple, but are there some roadblocks or things that you have to watch out for?
I think the hardest part and what you have to watch out for are the first parts, which is that being brave and realizing that I even want to try something new, that I want to envision a life that could look different. Most of the people we are helping or we run into, somebody says, oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. Would you say that 5 times in a row? It's usually not fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's usually a key. It's not fine. But you're kind of like, well, this is what I have to do. Again, I should do it. I have to do it. And so that being brave to say, this doesn't fit me or doesn't serve me any longer is so important and so incredibly hard to do.
So I have to interrupt you. I have to ask the question.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't brave enough to do that. And maybe they don't need to be. Does everybody have to have whatever the hell they want? Or can some people be happy without it?
I think if you know it, if you're self-aware about it, it's okay. And it's what you want, right? So I want the life that I have, and I have traded off working in a big corporation for a lot more money to make less money and work with my best friend in the entire world, Kelly Guenther. That is a trade-off that I've made, and I'm happy with that. Kelly has trade-off that she's made. And so you don't have to have every single thing, but what are the things that are so important to you that you want to work toward and go toward, and other things you can let go?
I love that.
Yeah.
It's getting in touch with your incredible inner self, I guess.
Exactly.
One of you is a psychologist, I believe. Yes. No?
Me, Keri.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got some expertise in this. I'm sure you've dealt with a lot of people that are suffering from this frustration and trying to break through. I guess that we're back to that word again. Let me ask you, what are the little boxes that you talk about?
I think I'll give you my couple of, not favorite little boxes, but the one I see the most, and Kelly can add to it as well. I think that a couple of them are very much your family. So what your family thinks about.
That could be a big box.
Oh, yeah.
That could be a giant box, even if it's a family of one.
Yes. Aren't we nice by calling them little boxes? Yeah, little boxes. There's a song, Little Boxes. I think that's why. But the family one and the expectations of how you're on time or not on time, that's a little one, but it still can run your life. What career you're going to have, the fact that you're going to be married, that you're going to have children. These are all these big expectations that in these boxes that people can put you in. Is as in genders, we see that men, you're supposed to be strong, not cry. Women are supposed to take care of things. I mean, there's all these societal boxes that we can fall into as well.
Kelly, jump in here, because the societal boxes are something I've got to ask about. We live in a time when everything is out there. Race, religion, gender, orientation, you name it. These are huge potential boxes. How do people deal with all of it all at once?
Well, it's hard. I mean, it's really challenging. That's why we wrote a book about it, because there's people comparing their lives to that of what other people are posting on social media. I know I've done it in my life. The reality of you can choose to live your life on your terms, but you have to have more of an honest conversation with yourself about it. Sometimes it's turning off that social media. It's removing someone who tends to irritate you, or if you find yourself gravitating to someone and always comparing yourself to them, kind of removing that so that you're not focused on those things that are derailing you from your success or your potential success. So that's one step that you could take. And I think, too, it's being true to yourself. It's being grounded in reality. And it's, again, surrounding yourself with people who are able to coach you, advise you, be your cheerleaders, your biggest advocates. I know that's what Keri's been for me multiple times in my life when I've made changes. And when you surround yourself by that love, it's impressive what can happen.
You talk a lot about mentorship in your book and how important it is to find people that are truly in your court as mentors and really work for you.
Absolutely. It's important to have someone who you can go to with your questions, concerns, maybe even validate how you're feeling. And so when you are able to have someone that you can go to and have them serve as a mentor and be totally honest, kind of strip down yourself and be as revealing as possible, that then is when you are actually able to take some action. And
you just brought up the magic word, honest. What about telling the truth? Kelly, what if somebody wants to tell you the truth and you're really not going to like it?
And I'm not going to like it? Well, listen, it's happened more than once in my life. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard for sure. But I also have to believe that the person told me that for a reason. So I may not like it in the moment, but I will think about it and reflect on it. And there may be a kernel of truth to it. And if there is, it's worth uncovering and figuring out, why did it bother me? What was it specifically that bothered me? Was it the messenger? Was it the message itself? So that's truly when change can happen, is when you're sometimes at your most uncomfortable state, because that's when you want something to change. When you're uncomfortable and it doesn't feel good, it's sometimes when the greatest changes can happen.
We're done tonight, ladies. Our time is up. Plug your book. How do we get it?
You can get whatever the hell you want on Amazon starting on Tuesday. You can pre-order now, and it drops on Tuesday, October 8th. And you can buy it anywhere books are sold as well. So please, and then you can follow us at abbracigroup.com or LinkedIn with us. We'd be happy to connect and chat about all things expectations.
And make sure you check out their podcast, ladies and gentlemen, the Breakout podcast. The Breakout. You know, it's really been fun talking to you both. I appreciate it so much. I wish you all the success in the world. You haven't changed my life entirely, but I've taken the first step, and I want you to come back and we'll do the second step.
Sounds good, Bruce.
Is that agreed? Are we agreed?
Agreed.
Absolutely.
You name the time and the place.
We'll do it again soon.
Okay.
Good night, Keri and Kelly. Good night, and thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Bruce.
Okay, we're back in a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bruce Cook.
Take care.
You too. Thanks for coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, like it or not, that's the end of our time together. I hope that you all enjoyed the show as much as I did, and I hope that you have a week of great health, a little bit of happiness. I hope that you use every ounce of your being to be the best person you can be, and if you need to break a mold, then break away. That's my message for tonight. Goodbye, everybody. It's Bruce Cook and The Conversation.